like I sang a million love songs to you. If you got cut, I swear I'd bleed. Seems like I dreamed a million dreams about you. So why can't I
attain? It's a goal we're going to reach. And I don't think that gels too well with what you're saying. Would you like to just pick that up?
Yeah. I don't think any one of us here thinks it's a goal to be attained. You see, that leaves us with ourselves, right? God has done his work. The Father's Son has become human, in human flesh, and he's sorted out Adam, and now he's placed in our hearts. Union is there. We discover him there. Right? Go and play with yourself on Romans 10. Have a good look at it. Might need to change that language, I think. Edit that bit out, yeah. Go on, I'll leave it then, have a laugh. But go and read Romans 10 and have a good think about it, because play with your mind on it, because, we don't call him down, we don't bring him up. We discover him there. He's near us, he's in our mouth, he's in our heart. And Paul says, this is the word of faith we preach. Paul's preaching Christ is in them. He says, Christ is in you, the hope of glory. Colossians 3:11, Christ is all and in all. Goes on. He understood Christ's union in all. Galatians 1:15, when God chose to reveal his Son in me. By meeting Christ, he was aware that Christ was in him. David's talking about us meeting Christ and seeing Christ literally. As we do, we become aware of Christ in us. It's not like he's out there. He's here. So it's not an attainment we get to. It's an unfolding. It's a metamorphosing from a maggot to a blowfly. It's from the caterpillar to butterfly. It's our transformation, but the transformation is because he's in us. So union isn't something you get or attain, it's something that's here and now. It's the core of the gospel, the proclamation that Paul made. This is the word of faith we preach, that he's in you, and if you believe it and speak it, you know salvation, but he's in you. If you don't believe it and you don't speak it, you're in darkness and you don't know where you are, because the darkness has blinded your eyes. But the truth is, he's in you. And if you believe it and speak it, you know salvation. You're not something to be attained. It's something we discover.
The question is, if union is something to be attained, then how do we get there?
Oh, money.
Yeah.
Good work.
And if people, what are the strategies people give you to achieve union? And what does it do to you? And what tool do they use to manipulate you, to show you the way to union? They highlight the sin in your lives.
But I haven't got any.
Yeah.
That's true. That's the truth of the gospel.
Yeah, we are. It's as if you believe you've got no sin, you deceive. But it's only for you, because David and I don't have sin.
Okay. But the alternative to trying to attain union is self-destructive.
Religion.
Yeah, religion. The treadmill. You never get there.
You go into yourself.
Yes. Yes. Union is a gift, and the gift is God himself, who declares that he has united us to himself. He's united every aspect of our lives to himself. So we get peace that flows through our entire being. We get rest, we get comfort, we get certainty of our future. The alternative is the opposite. If we have to attain union, then we're never sure that we're even on the right road to getting there.
I was just looking at a verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 8 today, actually. In verse 5, Paul's writing to the Corinthians, and he says, "For even if there are so-called gods, whether in heaven or on earth, as indeed there are many gods and many lords, yet for us there is one God, the Father, from whom all things came, and for whom we live, and there is one Lord Jesus Christ, through whom all things came, and through whom we live." Notice this, verse 7, he says, "But not everyone possesses this knowledge. Some people are still accustomed to idols," and so on. So he's not differentiating between us being in union, between a believer and an unbeliever even. He's just saying that the unbeliever doesn't know it. But the unbeliever is not accustomed to the knowledge that Jesus Christ is holding them together. But the moment the gospel turns the lights on, they go, "Oh, yes, that's who's holding me together." You discover, so that to me is very clear. Scripture about the person who's not a believer just doesn't see it, but doesn't mean that it's not true. It's still true for the unbeliever and the believer alike. And something has happened to the entire human race. Jesus Christ has joined humanity in himself to the Father, and some people know it, some people don't, but the truth doesn't change by your knowledge or the lack of it. In fact, knowing it doesn't make it so, and not knowing it doesn't make it not so. It's just the truth is the truth. And actually, Sunday I was had an analogy for faith, which is that faith is a bit like enjoying a beautiful day. It's the day that's beautiful that makes you enjoy it. It's not your enjoyment of it that makes it beautiful. And you can, if you want to, you can shut yourself off from the day by staying inside, or deliberately close your eyes to it. But the day is beautiful, and it's going to stay beautiful whether you see it or not. But you can, and faith is simply the lights go on, you see it, and the same is true with our union with God, is that the gospel is the light that makes us aware of the truth. And then we live in that truth because the light has come to us. And so it changes the way you approach someone outside of an orthodox sense of believing that everyone you talk to is another human being, and it just it keeps the door is already open. And of course, the gospel doesn't start with sin. You don't start there. You start with I can't remember who said this, but somebody once said they actually had a bunch of people come to their house, and as they came through the door, the person who had invited them says, "I know the truth about you, and tonight I'm going to reveal it to everyone." And some of the people were really anxious until this guy said, "The truth is that you are loved by God. The truth is you're forgiven. The truth is you belong to Him." And some people didn't like that, and some people did. But it doesn't matter whether we like it or not. The truth is the truth. And so union is something that Christ has vicariously done for all human beings, and believing doesn't make it true. Not believing doesn't make it not true. I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything on that subject, because there was another question that came up during the break, and that is, it's all good to talk about union, but sometimes there are forms of things that look like union but are actually more like uniformity, and actually instead of becoming more yourself, you become less yourself, and you can lose yourself in some forms of what looks on the surface like a plausible form of union. In actual fact, it's not. Loss of distinction takes place. So I thought we might just kick that around for a little while in terms of how the domination of a person, and you lose your distinctiveness, is the shadow. The shadow counterfeit of genuine union, which we see particularly in any kind of. It's possible to have in any kind of institution, not just a big organised institution, but even inside of an institution like marriage, or any two people, you can lose the genuine principles of real union and distinction, and you can end up with something which is only a facsimile of it, and you lose your distinction. And I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's negative, but it'd be worth just saying. Yeah.
So we're talking about, we've kicked into what is a human relationship. So we've talked about union and distinction, and does this apply to us? Well, let's talk about us as persons. If I am in relationship, we'll start with Jesus. Jesus isn't, if I'm the Son and this is the Father is a relational term. The Son is a relational term. If you think about it, the Son is the Son of the Father. The Father is the Father of the Son. So those very two terms we've been given to enter the understanding of God are thoroughly relational. And I'm only the Son because there's a Father, and He's only a Father because there's a Son. So if you want to put down, their identity is contained in relationship. Think that through. Now let's play it about ourselves. If I'm a person, and if I'm a human being, and if I'm like a candle and my light's going out forever and not bouncing off anybody and coming back, do I ever know myself? No. It's only as I interact and my being goes out and comes back. So I only know myself in the context of relationships, which is exactly the same as the Father and the Father and the Son. The Son is only the Son of the Father. Does that make sense? So can you see that we are thoroughly relational, that we live in a network of relationships? Okay? So what's a person? A person is someone who exists in relationships. I am not an individual. I'm not an individual. I'm not an island on my own, a self-sustaining person, just me and God, just me and the universe. No, I am a human being in a network of relationships, and there isn't any personhood outside of relationships. So I'm sitting here, what's my identity? Of the human race, I'm a male. I'm a son of my parents. I'm a brother of my siblings, right? I'm a father of my children. I'm friends of my friends. You with me? I'm in a relational structure. Can you see that? Our identity is relational. It is not as an individual. And so as we kick through, this union then and distinction kicks through. Because I'm in union with my friends and yet I'm distinct. They're in union with me and they're distinct. I'm in union with my kids and they're in union with me, but we're both distinct. So we're entering the world as I'm only in the context of relationality is my ontology. I'm relational onto. In physics they say onto-relational when they're talking about that particles are actually just knots in the fields between things. You know, I exist, my being is only existing in relationship. In relationships, I exist. Now, it's very, very different frame to how we were raised from Descartes onwards, you know, and before that, Boethius. I won't go into it, but Boethian concepts of humanity from Neoplatonic thought, and an individual of rational substance. I'm not an individual of thought nature. I am a being that is in a relationship, and therefore I am a person. It is so different, and that's therefore distinction and union. And in this relationship I have, say, with Stuart, then I'm responsible to Stuart, not for Stuart. And then the whole issue is about relationality, distinction, responsibility, and self-responsibility, and care to and care for. All those things start flowing out. You say, what about hermits? Well, see, the problem with being a hermit is that you actually lose, and Anthony, the mystic from Athanasius' day, they made these comments too. You know, you still meet your demons within, but the point about it is it's only in the context of relationality you sort yourself out.
Without you, so why can't I explain the things you need? front of me. The space between the notes I play, the breath between the words I say, the pause between each thought I make. So my sweet love, make no mistake,